Welcome into the New Orleans Saints podcast presented by Rouse's Markets. I'm Erin Summers. The Saints are coming off a 24-10 loss to the Atlanta Falcons Sunday. The Week 12 loss puts the Saints at 2-9 on the season, disappointing after the Saints are coming off a bye week where they said they really did a lot of self-evaluation. Here is head coach Kellen Moore on the loss.
Frustrating game. Obviously, a game that we felt good coming in. Felt like there was some carryover from the Carolina game through the bye week. Felt like it was a good week, and we didn't come out and get this one done. Credit to those guys. Those guys coached better, played better, and ultimately executed better than us today. And so, frustrating game. All three phases kind of have different opportunities that obviously we missed, and it's going to be a big opportunity for us to respond the right way and stick together and keep battling.
With the group up to eight misses now, do you still have faith in him as a starting kicker going forward?
Yeah, it's a frustrating one. Obviously, I think the biggest and most important thing is we got to go through this full process to understand how this happened today. He missed a couple, and it's unfortunate because there's been a lot of good, but we'll have to evaluate that and just get a better feel for how that process went down today.
What's the precedent that you'd rather set in that situation in terms of whether it be patience or at least for trying somebody else out and sending the message that there's
Yeah, we'll just evaluate that as we go. Obviously, it's an important thing. We'll have to evaluate first. Really dig into what happened today, as far as Let's communicate at a high level. Let's go through that process, understand how the outcomes occurred, and then we'll obviously evaluate, and there'll be another day to continue to discuss that.
Because you all have been looking at the future at some position, wide receiver, quarterback. Could Charlie Smith be part of that evaluation to get a look at him, what he could do?
Charlie's certainly in the developmental role. He's done a lot of good as he's gone through this process for a couple years now in the developmental role, and so. Again, it's something we'll just have to spend some time and invest some time, and say he's not going to be the answer to all that. And I think it's a process that we have to go through.
As you guys are looking to develop and make some moves for that, what's the advantage of going away from Tyler in the red zone and going with Taysom?
Yeah, just some of the run game stuff. Felt like it's a numbers game down there, and you gain a number with Taysom, and red zone's on me. We're not getting it done. So it's as simple as that. We're not scoring touchdowns down there. 0 for 3 today, had a huge impact today, and so we got to find a way to get it done.
Coming up, we're going to hear from a younger player who stepped into a bigger role in Sunday's game against the Falcons. Stay with us. On Sunday against the Falcons, the Saints offense was unable to get into the end zone. The only score came from a 49-yard interception that was returned for a touchdown by Justin Reed. That got the Saints within one score of the Falcons. The run game, however, was very tough to come by, along with the red zone issues. Two things that we have been watching throughout this season flared up again in this one. Running back Alvin Kamara went out in the second quarter with a knee injury and did not return, which allowed running back Devin Neal to step into a larger role. One that he said he hasn't had since he was in college, but that he is ready for. Here is Neal.
I still feel like I got a lot of work to do. I can continue to get better, continue to find ways to get better for this team, to ultimately win games. I just think there's just another element to our game that we can just keep stepping up and keep getting better, and that's what we got to focus on.
Thrusting in, how comfortable did you feel with the workload?
I think the coaching staff has done a phenomenal job with keeping me in the loop, keeping me in practice, still getting reps, and so I felt really comfortable being out there. And at the end of the day, you never know, especially with my position. The first guy can go out just like that. So I have to be prepared. I have to prepare myself in that way. I have to watch film the same way, like I'm going to be out there taking every rep. So that's kind of just my mentality when it comes to this.
I was just been asked already, but how frustrating is it to have those two 15-point drives because they're out of those two in runs?
Yeah, we have to find a way to put it in the end zone, point blank, period. Those are two crucial drives. I think obviously everyone knows the game would be dramatically different if we put those in the box, but at the end of the day, that's on us to figure out what we can do to get better, to execute just a little bit better to finish those drives because we looked really good, getting down there. But at the end of the day, we have to finish those drives with points, So, I think there's still a lot of work to do. I think we're growing, and that's the exciting part about this game as well. That we played well at times, but there's other times we have to play much better. So we're going to look into that this week and continue to get better for sure.
It's not your first work this season, obviously, but when's the last time you had this heavy a workload?
It's been college. College was the last time I had a workload like this, and I'm no stranger to it. I'm used to it, and like I said before, I prepare myself in a manner that when my time is up, I'm ready to go. And I'm ready to execute, and that is not much of a lapse when whoever's out. So that's just my job, honestly.
Do you think there's something to you and Tyler kind of getting the snaps together around the same time throughout the year that your timing in the
Yeah,
passing game?
yeah. I mean, I definitely think there's a connection there. I think he looks for me, and just, at the end of the day, it's my job to be open for him just like the receivers are. So, we have that connection and he's finding me, and I think it was really successful, obviously. And so, I think obviously just us being two rookies and being so connected, that he's also one of the guys that I'm closest with that I spend time outside of the facility with. So I just think there's definitely a natural connection there for sure.
We'll continue to watch the injury on Alvin Kamara and see whether he's able to go this weekend in Miami. In the meantime, looks like Neil is ready to go. On the other side of this break, we're going to bring in Saints legend Terron Armstead to break down what he saw in the game and preview that game against the Dolphins. Terron, thank you so much for joining me on the New Orleans Saints podcast. It is always great to have you. Although we did miss you this weekend. I mean, Drew Brees was in the building, Jimmy Graham was there, and could have used you as well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, no, I would have loved to be there. I had just got back from Madrid after the Dolphins and Commanders. And with the kids and all that, like, I couldn't make another trip to the airport.
Understand. Life happens, and you got to take care of that first. Tell me about that trip to Madrid, because you've been all over the place doing a lot of media, but being able to go there and experience the first international game in that city had to have been a really cool experience.
It was amazing. I love Madrid. Shout out to Madrid, Spain. It's just an incredible place. Food was fantastic. The people were great. The weather was a bit challenging. The weather wasn't great. But outside of that, it was an amazing experience, being closely with the Dolphins and talking to all my former teammates, doing media out there. I did Good Morning Football, I did NFL Game Day, all those things. So it was just an incredible experience.
You have been doing a lot, and I know you still keep up with the Saints. You're very familiar with what's going on in the greater NFL landscape. So watching the Saints game against the Falcons, knowing that the team just came out of a bye and really talked about a lot of areas that they wanted to improve in, for that to be the performance that we saw, what are your concerns or your takeaways? Yeah,
yesterday was challenging. It was challenging because the game could have looked so much differently if red zone efficiency was just any better. Just scoring points in the red zone would have just changed this conversation today. And we can what if ourselves to death, of course, but when you're in the low red that many times, got that many opportunities at the 1-2 yard line, it makes it challenging to come away with a positive outlook. They did some things well, for sure, offensively. I would have loved Kellen Moore to allow Tyler Shough to have more opportunities to find ways into the end zone. I know they had the packages with Taysom and all of that. Taysom's proven to do so. But as we are developing Tyler Shough and you're seeing what you have from him, those opportunities to get the ball into the end zone, whether it's quick throws or him using his size and stature to get into the end zone with the running game, would love to see that a little more. And just a touchdown out of that, all those red zone trips, or even the field goals from Groupie, changed the tone of today. So that makes it really challenging.
When you look at the way that Tyler Shough has played, he still only has 3 games under his belt now at the NFL level. He went 30 of 43, 243 yards. He didn't get a lot of those opportunities, as you mentioned, in the red zone. So some of the inefficiencies that we saw there, not necessarily on Shough. How would you evaluate his performance so far?
Yeah, I think he's played pretty well, all things considered. We've seen some throws that you get excited about. We've seen him make tight window throws. We've seen him down the field throws that, kind of equated to his draft position, why he was taken so early in the second round, because of the live arm and the big arm. And he's doing some things really well. I think that navigating the pocket is an area that he will have to continue to improve. Yesterday, I saw a couple clean pockets that he got himself into trouble with, trying to escape out and to the right, where he could have just stepped up, in my opinion. But those things come with reps, come with experience, getting more comfortable, getting in more of a rhythm. And at times we see it. We see him be very decisive with where he's going with the ball and deliver with accuracy and precision. And then at other times we see some indecision and holding on to the ball, trying to escape and getting brought down for untimely sacks. So I see some things, a lot to be excited about. But offensively, I would like for Kellen Moore to try to create more opportunities for them to run the ball and screens and not 43 pass attempts, because that's tough. It's challenging. Now, I'm sure Kellen knows that.
Where does that fall? Because you see the offensive line, it's a little beat up. Again, you didn't have Taliese Fuaga in the game, Eric McCoy out for this season, so it's been Luke Fortner there at center. There was 5 sacks allowed yesterday against the Falcons, and then the run game, Alvin Kamara goes out in the second quarter. So I'm sure that had an effect on your game plan, what you were trying to do as well. So kind of going forward with all of those pieces, how do you establish that run game better?
Yeah, no, it's challenging. It's challenging for sure, especially when you mention Alvin Kamara going out. Like, that's your workhorse. And then having the injuries to certain guys on the O-line, it's challenging. But a brilliant mind like Kellen Moore, you create ways in the scheme to find opportunities to get handoffs and to create space for not necessarily just runners. They got other guys on the outside that can control the ball, whether it's jet sweeps, toss plays, reverses, things like that. Just getting them to more of a creative bag to create those opportunities in the run game, because it just builds momentum, it builds a rhythm for the offensive line. And then when it's time for them to pass protect, or you can add the play action game because the run game is working. I trust Kellen Moore to be able to generate those type of schematic plays to help the run game.
When you look at who had to step up, it was rookie running back Devin Neal. He hasn't gotten a lot of run, a little bit more now with the injury to Kendre Miller. He's been subbed in. We can see that he's a really good in pass protection as a blocker, and they got utilized in the passing game as well. Ends up with 7 carries for 18 yards, 5 catches for 43. So he kind of served that dual running back role that we've seen AK do for so long. Just what did you see in Neal's ability to kind of step up, in the middle of a game and have to be called upon a little bit more?
Yeah, no, he did that. He stepped up. Not many opportunities in the run game. Would love to see that more. A lot of running backs, they get better with time. They like to get into a rhythm. They get a chance to see how the defense is playing them, who's filling what gaps, all those things, or the linebackers running over the top, or are they coming downhill? So you get a chance to get a feel for those things. So with more reps in the run game, I think we'll see some explosive plays. But him having that dual threat ability, that's the way of the league. Like these guys out of the backfield, AK and Christian McCaffrey was like the 2 for the longest.
Yeah.
But now we got Devon Achane and James Cook and Bijan Robinson. Like, we have these guys. Like, you have to be able to have that dual threat in your bag in order to play in the league now. So seeing Neal, the way that he's able to produce out of the backfield, and as you mentioned, him as a pass protector, the future's bright for this young man.
You obviously watch the offensive line with a different lens than a lot of people do. So let's talk about the O-line. Coming into the season, you were really excited about Kelvin Banks, and I think that he has definitely at least reached expectations. I mean, he's done a very good job there. Overall, how has the line played? Maybe some areas that you'd like to see them do a little bit better in?
Yeah, no, I thought these guys have played pretty well. I thought they have. They played well. They've been in some tough situations. A lot of pass opportunities too. We've seen games over 40 attempts, 50 attempts. It's challenging, even for the best O-lines in the league. You get that many chances to rush. Odds are somebody's going to get home. Even yesterday, they had some sacks that were given up, but I wouldn't put all those on the O-line. I saw at least 2 where Shug kind of put himself into danger. It was Cesar Ruiz. He had a great block on a defensive tackle, and Shug went to escape. He falls off for a sack. That wouldn't fall on the offensive line, in my opinion. They're young though, young group. They're hungry. They're continuing to get better and work their technique. It's a development right now, and for KB, I love what I'm seeing from him. His willingness to compete every week. He plays every snap as hard as possible. I love that, win or lose, because he's going to continue to grow. His technique will get better with more experience and more reps, all that. Same for Tally on the other side. Once he gets back in and healthy, and then you get Eric McCoy back, you get your Pro Bowl center back in the middle. to solidify things even more. Even though Luke has been playing great since being traded for, but this young unit up front, they are the future of the Saints. Like that O-line will be the building block. Everything will come off of them. They have the talent to be that, to have that much excitement and anticipation for their progression and development.
At this point in the season, with the record the way that it is at 2-9, and you have a lot of young players, when do you start leaning into playing them more and seeing what you have?
Yeah, I think that's been an interesting spot watching Kellen Moore and the Saints coaching staff, is that they are in a developmental stage, but it's a thin line between that and then trying to win this game. So you have Tyler Shuck, who you're developing at quarterback, but we bring in Taysom for a lot of reps to get into the end zone when those could have been Tyler reps as to develop, but you brought in Taysom to go win now. So it's just been a kind of like watching that balancing act of the two. But now sitting at 2-9, I think you start to lean more into that development and the reps and see how guys handle certain situations, because it's valuable. It's valuable to see them in live action. It's no better display of what you got until you actually go line up and do it. So I think now we'll start to see more of those younger guys get more opportunities, whether it's good or bad. They're just going to continue to get those reps and get those chances.
Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. There's been a lot of talk about their ability to stop the run. And I think against somebody like Bijan Robinson, they did a decent job. There was one chunk play that they allowed there on the ground and then one through the air that was late in the game. I think the Falcons just took a shot and it worked out. But I do feel like the defense has been playing better, obviously forcing a turnover, getting into the end zone yesterday as well. But when you ask Cam Jordan, he's like, well, we needed 2 turnovers. We needed 2 scores. And so they're definitely going to take more of the onus on themselves. Just kind of overall, how have you seen the defensive side play out under the new defensive coordinator?
Yeah, no, I've been impressed with the defense. I've been impressed with them. Outside of a couple games, they've been stout. They've been consistent, steady, very physical defense with Demario Davis in the middle. Shout out Cam Jordan. Shout out the timeless one. Cam Jordan. It's just something about him saying that.
Like,
just listen, when he see them dirty birds, he just, I don't know. He's unblockable. Like the Falcons, this man has 45 sacks against the Falcons. Not actually, but like it's close.
Yeah.
So shout out to Cam. It's levels, baby. It's levels. It's the defense has been they've been good to me. They've been physical. They're flying around, creating the turnovers. Justin Reed with the pick 6. Chase Young getting back in and healthy, and his ability to do what he does. Carl Granderson, like it's a lot to be excited about on that defensive side of the ball. Kool-Aid, Alontae Taylor, like young guys that really come with that energy every single game, every snap. It's a lot to be excited about, and I feel confident with the defense moving forward. Adding a couple more pieces next year and really putting together a defense that can be one of the best in the league.
It's kind of twofold because the defense has been playing better, but you need more points offensively, so there's not as much pressure on them. You mentioned the red zone issues to start. The fact that the Saints they're only averaging 15 points per game, it's got to be higher than that, right? Yeah, no, for sure. You got to score to win. Plain and simple. Like you got to score the ball to win, and that'll forever be for the rest of the time that we have this sport. And they have weapons to do so. They've had some injuries that make it really, really challenging. And then you don't have Rashid Shaheed anymore. You don't have Brandon Cooks anymore. Alvin Kamara's down right now, so it makes it more challenging. And you want to see the coaches, staff get into their bag and try to create ways for the guys to get more opportunities to score. But when they get down there and they get in the red zone like they did, like, Kellen and his play calling, they get down there into the low red, you got to punch it in. You got to walk away with 7 every time. But then when you settle for a field goal, you got to be able to knock those in as well. So
I know that's something that they are discussing right now, trying to figure out what to do with that. But the offense has to score. You have to be able to score in this league to be successful.
Blake Grupe so far on the season now is 18 for 26. He had those 2 misses early in the game against the Falcons, which honestly you could have been tied at the half or maybe even have taken a lead, and that could have changed the dynamic of the game a lot. So
Sure.
It's tough because the Saints have really stuck with him. I think we might see a change going into the Dolphins game. There are reports out that they're having some kickers come in for tryouts. You do have Charlie Smith on your practice squad. So I don't know. And I'm not going to ask you to bet or anything, but like, what are the odds? What do you think that there may be a change there going into this weekend?
Yeah, no, I think there will be. I think there will be a change. Seeing Kellen Moore talk about it post game, it was like the first time I saw like visible frustration from him. And it's tough. It's tough, man, as a kicker. And Grupe, his misses were close. It's not like he's missing super wide right or left, or kicks getting blocked because they're low. It's close, but it's production based business. It is in the league, and we see kickers nowadays making multiple kicks from 60 and Cam Little from 70, and so you got to have that. It has to be a weapon for your offense at this point now in the league with the new kickoff rules and all that. You get 1 or 2 first down, you're in range. So that has to be a weapon for the offense. I'm hearing that Justin Tucker will be one of the kickers they're looking at, and that's an interesting pick. He's an All-Pro, multiple-time Pro Bowler, all those things. I don't know his full story and the allegations that he faced at all. I don't know those things. I know what he's done as a kicker and his level of production. So that could be a move that the Saints look to make.
There's a lot that needs to be addressed this week. Players offensively that you'd like to see step up or maybe have a bigger role, considering the moves that were made in the wide receiver room, the people that they don't have available right now.
Yeah, Juwan Johnson. That's one weapon that I would like to see them utilize more, getting more involved, finding other ways for him to touch the ball, whether it's tight end screens or him even getting the jet sweep and letting him see what he can do with the ball in his hands. Chris Olave, he's had some spectacular contested catches, but just more activity from him and more yards after catch from Olave. Would love to see that. Tyler Shough just playing free and confident, you know what I mean? Just trying to create plays. Excuse me, and push the ball down the field more. Just looking at a few of those guys.
Another wide receiver that we saw get a little bit more run in the game was wide receiver Mason Tipton. He had that 75-yard kickoff return. And I think when you do have big moments like that, especially in special teams, then you want to be able to have the payoff at the end and get into the end zone. So definitely going to be looking for some different improvements going forward this weekend against the Dolphins, team that you're very familiar with as well. I know you said you were just there in Madrid watching them. So what Miami team are we going to see? Because sometimes they look great and sometimes it's a different story.
Yeah, no, for sure. That they're on a win streak right now. They got back-to-back wins against the Bills and the Commanders. The Bills game was ugly. It wasn't a pretty win by no means, but they got not the Bills win. The Commanders win was ugly and overseas, but they got the victory. So they're trying to do something. They're trying to go on a run, make a playoff push. So they'll be looking to be their best self against the Saints, and they're dangerous on offense. Devontae Chan is playing like the best in the league, right up there with Jonathan Taylors of the world. And all those guys. Jalen Waddle's been a monster ever since Tyreek Hill went down with injury. So that Dolphins team, they'll be coming to play ball for sure. And the Saints, I'm sure they will as well. They'll be coming out to compete and try to go down to Miami and get a W.
What do you think the Saints have to make sure they do against the Dolphins to have success?
Have to try to contain Devontae Chan. He's going to be all over the field, lining up in different spots, different motions. He will have the ball in his hands quite a bit as a runner, as a receiver. So try to really appoint guys that's responsible for him. He is dangerous. He's special. He is an elite player. So gotta account for Devon more than anything else. Find 28.
It is holiday week. Thanksgiving's coming up, so I have to ask you, like, what are you thankful for this year?
Thankful for everything, everything from the next breath to just literally everything. Being here, retired, being able to watch the games from a different lens, for my family, loved ones, just everything in general. What about you? What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful that this is my job, that I get paid to watch games. Yeah, I would love some more wins, but I think just having this as what I have to do every day and go to work to is pretty cool, regardless of how it turns out, you know?
Love that.
Well, with you, I know you're always busy, so what do you have coming up?
I'm flying out, go spend the holidays with the family back home in Illinois, get a chance to see those folks. It's been a while since I've been up there, so looking forward to it.
Are you going to be at the game this weekend, the Saints Dolphins?
I don't think so. Don't you know what I mean? Don't be surprised if you see me on the sideline, but I'm not sure yet.
And then any other time this season, are you going to make it back to New Orleans?
I will be back in New Orleans for sure.
Perfect. I know there is like a big game where everyone's coming into town in December, the Legends game. So maybe we'll see you then. If not, then just come say hi when you do stop by, because I know everybody always likes to see you. You know, maybe do a pep talk or something. I don't know if you have any gems to drop, but I think we'll all take them.
We'll see. I'll be back for sure.
All right. Terron, thank you so much for joining us here, and have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you later this season then.
No problem. Have a great Thanksgiving as well. Happy holidays. Who that?